New French Montana featuring Drake, where Drake finally addresses Joe Budden after Joe Budden has released 43 complete, about 15 minutes of bars. If you compile all of Joe's songs that he's put out so far, yo, why you doing that to Joe Budden?
I don't like Joe Budden anymore. I'm not calling him my guy anymore either. No, it's not my guy.
You're done with Joe?
Yes. I know you. I know how you are. You will be friends with people as they screw you over forever.
Wait, he did something to you for real?
In my eyes, he did. He multiple times. Besides treating me like crap when he comes on this show, and then goes on the Breakfast Club and treats them like saints when they accuse him of beating women and say that he couldn't give him donkey of the day. No, that's what happened. Yeah, Charlamagne called him donkey of the day, said you're a woman abuser. He treats him like gold. He comes here, he embarrasses me and treats me like crap. If you go watch our last interview, I produce his podcast. Treats me like crap. I helped him get started. I guess he thought I was going to be a super producer and be there every day. So treat him like garbage. Then what was the other one I'm forgetting? Forgetting one middle one. And then most recently, just found out he's doing a joint podcast with Charlamagne. Didn't tell or mention his co-host, Marissa Mendez, who works here for us, just announced it, and she wasn't invited to participate. I was like, word, that's just how you move with your people.
I guess I don't get that involved with all these people.
Why would I made the dumb choice. Yeah. Here's how I messed up. I had an idea to bring on a hip-hop podcast, and I decided to work with miserable-ass Joe Budden and not the wonderful, happy Nori, who's killing it. I should have done a podcast with Nori. Instead, I did a podcast with Joe, and I'm not that dude who's lets their friends. Joe has a weird complex where he treats people who are good to him like garbage.
Wow.
And so, yeah, when I heard about the Charlamagne podcast, listen, I don't mind if he could, of course, say I'm going to do something like that, but he just naturally would never say a word. He just moves like that. So I'm done. So when I talk about his songs, I'm going to make fun of them. Can I be clear? Is it better if I'm clear? I'm going to make fun of your stupid reach diss songs to try to put you back in the game. You're a podcaster trying to rap. No one cares. So I'm going to make fun of him. He's a great rapper, but no one cares.
I had no idea this was going to go this long.
That's it. Neither did I, but that's what it is.
Good morning.
So that was the gist of it, man. He was really ticked off with Joe Budden. And this is what everybody likes Joe Budden. Like I said, Joe Budden's good on his podcast show. He's really good as doing the podcast. He's really good at engaging and creating these what ifs. And he's just not good as a business person. A business personality is not good to take Joe Budden into a business meeting. He's not the guy that's going to do that. And you know how they say, well, this guy's looking to blow things up. That's Joe Budden. Joe's looking to blow things up. Now, he recently went on the show and he ended up firing that girl because he felt she leaked the information about him doing the show to Rosenberg. So he's like, oh, you talking to Rosenberg. Now I can't have you on my show because you've talked to Rosenberg. So now I have to fire you. So basically he fired a girl that was cool with Rosenberg, that Marissa chick, who just, from what I heard, I don't know the lady, but she has a reputation of just sleeping around with rappers, which every radio station personality do. But I don't know her. So, I don't know. But it was like one rapper she slept with. She took him to her boyfriend's house, who she sleeps on his couch. Her ex-boyfriend sleeps on his couch and tried to take a rapper over to her house. And he went. Supposedly. Like I said, I don't know. So, anyway, when all this was hot and going on, Ebro, who's cool with him, like Ebro's cool with Joe Budden, he tells Joe, look, Joe, why wouldn't you bring Maritza on your show. If you brought Maritza on your show, you know what kind of episode you're going to have? You would have a classic episode. But they couldn't have a classic episode because Joe Budden is so emotional and in his feelings that he wouldn't let it go there. So they brought him on the show to talk about what was going on in his life. And when they brought him back on the show to talk about like what was going on with the Maritza situation, because Maritza's their friend, he didn't know he was going to be ambushed. So here we go. They kicked it right off with Joe Budden coming in to promote his album. He thought it was going to be a regular show. They had Maritza there too, the girl he just fired.
Rosenberg is here. We even have Marissa Mendez sitting in because there's another storyline. Another one that if you don't listen to the podcast world, will bring you into that. All right.
The Machine Project this September. This is Flex featuring Tory Lanez. Old morning show. Shut the fuck up, Peter, for 2 seconds. Save all of your fucking built-up tension for later. We can address you later. Marissa won't stop looking at the screen. Y'all fucking weirdo. Hey, so Rage in the Machine, Joe Budden, A-Rap Music here. This is the new single Flex featuring Fab, featuring Tory Lanez, and it's lit.
All right, so Joe, the next piece of the conversation has to do with.
All right, Joe. So then Drake.
So, I'm glad you finally woke up. No, seriously, we're going to talk about Marissa Mendez now. Somebody that has supported you.
Mendez alert.
Somebody who's been there for you. And that out of the blue, because of something she didn't do, you text her, you're fired. Then I call you like, yo, you can't fire Marissa Mendez. Call her. She didn't do nothing. And you never called her.
Nah.
And then you want to go out and act like she opted to just not be on the program.
You said so many untruths.
Listen, I know you want to get up here and act. I know you want to
said so many
I know you want to get up here and act like you can outdo me on this radio thing, but
it's your show, so you won't allow me to do it.
All right, so let's just hear Joe's side of the story, just to hear it.
My side of what story?
Because you're saying that
He's
what he
going
said
to
is not
bullshit everybody in the room because I did call.
Truth?
Why'd you do that to her? Why'd you kick her off the podcast?
I did not kick her off of the podcast.
What happened?
And listen, it was time to go different ways.
That's some corporate bullshit. I've said that.
It was. I heard that. It was time to go.
We're going in a different direction.
We're going in a different direction.
AKA, you're on my fucking nerves.
We're going in a no, of course, mine don't get on my nerves. So I would never do that. So what happened? You went in different directions. No, you said where you and I went in different directions.
You're fired.
Hey,
let's get to this. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna tell you something else.
Oh my God! Yeah, don't do that. No, don't do that because then it's gonna make it seem like I was really upset about it. Because to be honest, I was over it anyway. But the whole fact of the matter is, as a friend and as somebody that I've worked with for years, been friends with for years, I get a text message. You don't even call me and talk to me about it.
We're gonna talk about Rage in the Machine. No,
September.
No, we're editing that out. You were editing. No. Diani. No, we're editing. No.
And I still haven't spoke to you, and that was a month ago.
Marissa, do we speak every month?
No, but do we?
All right, then what the fuck you talking about? You see each other every week, though. You see each other on the podcast.
And you don't call me to talk about. I called you as soon as you text me. I'm like, what are you even talking about? Because I wasn't even here when he spoke. I didn't even know what he said. And then you I get that text from you.
What he said got you fired.
Okay. So why can't you call me and talk to me about it?
Talk to you about
because I didn't even know what the situation was.
There was no situation.
You don't want me to call?
I'm 36. What the fuck do I owe you? What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What do you? As a friend and as somebody at work, when you don't call somebody, you fire someone over a text message. That's how you do that. On a show we started together.
Well, look, she's not evident. I didn't
want to do the show anymore, which is why I never followed up and called you ever again. I could have chased after you. I could have tried to talk about it.
Why are we talking about it here? Rage in the Machine, September. It's going down. A-Rap Music is in the building. Rosenberg, Lawrence, Marissa's here. Heroes here, beyond it. Everybody's here. No? We're editing out? Hey, who the fuck is on the board, man? I ask you to press no fucking button.
No, that doesn't work here, sir. There's only one person who gets to do that. But because you put it out on Twitter, and obviously she
Put
was
what out on
colleague
Twitter?
of mine.
Whoa, put what out on Twitter?
No, put on the podcast.
on
He said on the
podcast.
podcast.
I was never going to address that because I love Monty and care about Monty, so I was never going to address it. Once she addressed it, on whatever platform she addressed it on,
Floor Styles and
there was
Proper
an
Etiquette
influx.
podcast.
There was an influx of questions, so I addressed it.
So you was gonna let it fly and just let it be quiet.
Yeah, 100%. Because if I were to address it, I wouldn't have anything good to say.
Okay, so here, well, there's a disconnect, Joe, right? And this is, I think, ultimately what probably my things with you come down to.
Let's hear it.
Is there's a disconnect in how you handle people you care about. Because
So you say you
no,
care.
it's not a disconnect.
Let me explain my point. You just told us that you wouldn't want to ever say anything negative about Monty because you care about her. You love Marissa. I know that.
Not publicly.
Right. You would never do that publicly. But at the same time, to just randomly, regardless if it's because of something I did or whatever the thing is, to randomly send her a text that just says, "You're fired," that's not how you handle someone you love either.
Why not?
Because that's inappropriate. It's just not. That's not a way that people
it's
handle
not.
people they care
Well,
about.
you clearly haven't purchased enough EPMD albums.
That's why I learned a lot from hip hop.
Strictly
They were 17. They were 17 years old then.
Any of the EPMD albums. How I
Business
handle-
never personal.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's business is never personal. But we can go play kickball tomorrow.
But I think you're lying. I'm gonna just go on
About?
I think you're lying. I think just like you said, you fired her because of what Rosenberg said.
That is exactly what happened.
Which
you and I
pissed you off.
spoke, so you can't.
Right, which pissed you off. It pissed you off.
But what does that have to do with Monty's
Right. But the point is, and the reason I say you're lying is because it's not just business, right? It was an emotional decision.
Not true. That's not true.
So what's the business?
Because the business part, which I told you was, the business part is when you bring these conversations to the entertainment platform, because that is what makes you as an artist something that people love, because you've always been transparent about your personal life.
I thought that
and
was a
your
good
music.
idea. When you said that, Ebro suggested that I talk about it. I talk about it on the podcast. I talk about it with Marissa. I talk about it with Peter. Just discuss it on the podcast. It makes for great content. I thought that was a great idea when you said it. And then I hung up and said, that would be embarrassing to Marissa.
I'm not embarrassed. I didn't do
Why?
anything wrong. I
She
did
didn't do
nothing
nothing.
wrong. I don't feel any type of
What I
embarrassment.
would have had to say regarding that subject pertaining to Marissa and Peter Rosenberg probably wouldn't have been the best dialogue.
I don't know what you could. Marissa, maybe there's something about Marissa part of this. I don't know what you could have said that would have pertained to me that would have been
Well,
upset.
and from what I know, what she's talked about on the podcast, there's not much you can say to embarrass her.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know that she's talked about all type of orifices and this.
All right, chill. But yes, we get the idea.
You feel what I'm saying?
But like, I don't know, and there's nothing that's happened with me that I would be embarrassed about. There's nothing you could say.
Why do you keep saying embarrassed? Is that the
said
word
it.
I use?
You implied that. You said that maybe you
I
would
don't
feel bad.
imply. I say. I don't imply. Hurt. Anything I would have said would have been
But I'm
hurtful.
saying you can't. There's nothing except
There's
for.
a million. You're very easy to hurt because you're hypersensitive. Don't play on this radio station.
No, you're right.
You're extremely easy to hurt, and during your rants,
right.
you sound hurt. So don't tell me that me, someone who's good with words, cannot hurt you with words. Don't tell me that.
You can.
So
but
I did,
but there wouldn't be truth to it. I could have been hurt. I would have been like, wow, that's mean, but it wouldn't have been truthful. Whatever. Truthful, there's nothing hurtful.
I would have opted to not do that.
But you did other things that were just as douchey. Which
To
is
you.
what, to me.
Well, like a masterful true troll, he has accomplished stalling this conversation because the things you're mad about, right, which is the reason you talked about it, is because you helped him start the podcast, just like Marissa helped.
Why
him
do you
start
keep?
the podcast.
We have to stop with that too.
What, help?
Yeah,
Why?
it's misleading.
Why? If he hooked you up with a person that has a studio that you didn't have to pay for, that's helping. If she supported you in your endeavors
Ebro, we have two different definitions of help.
that's called helping.
I don't think there's any other way to do it.
I'll give you an example.
Peter
The
helped
reason
the
is
rapper
different.
find a studio. Are you listening to yourself?
That's helping. That's helping.
But are you
someone.
hearing yourself?
Yeah, but that's helping someone.
Peter's not getting very much credit for helping a rapper find a studio.
Okay. Well, a free one.
Yeah, I mean that you're choosing.
Let
That's one
me
piece.
ask you if you think that I don't have any free studios anywhere.
But you use that one.
I used that one because there was a plan that Peter abandoned. He failed to mention that on the radio.
There's a lot that people fail to mention. I just don't care to ever discuss it because I'm not that.
That's why. But
I didn't even know I was coming
topics
here to discuss Peter and Marissa. I didn't even know Marissa.
No, you asked for Pete to be here.
I wanted Pete to be present.
So yeah, I want to be part of the conversation. But let's just say this.
I'm happy to see Pete.
No, there's a lot of nuance to this whole thing. But I'll just say this. I mean this. You, to me, right now, the way you're handling this conversation is unlike you to me. You're reaching, you're stalling, you're not handling, you're not doing right by people who love you and have cared.
Okay, how about this? So I'm very direct. I don't care.
You don't appear that way.
I don't appear
to not care. You don't appear to not care.
I mean, you're being.
I don't care to have this conversation. I don't care that
publicly.
I don't care that. Period.
But that's just misleading. That's not true. So then you just don't care about.
I haven't had the conversation. What do you mean it's not
true? So you don't care about the relationship with myself or Marissa whatsoever?
No. Feel how y'all feel. I'm gonna feel how I feel.
But that's even that is caring. Even that is caring.
Confused. I just want to promote my album. I don't
you
care.
You really thought you were gonna come here? We were just gonna straight promote the album, and not talk about the elephant in the room?
It wasn't the elephant.
But it is for us. Like
this is a room y'all are in every morning.
Right. It's a room that our team lives in, right?
You walked in, you're really the elephant.
You're the elephant. This is
facts.
You're actually the elephant in the room.
Rage in the Machine, September. A-Rap Music is in the building. We got some dope new music coming up for you. Not we, but High 97, the morning show. Ebro in the morning. We got some more music coming up. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. This is the elephant speaking, and we're going to get right to it.
Elephant speaking.
Yeah, come on with this fuck shit. I don't care. Marissa's sensitive. Peter's sensitive. Marissa feel the way.
I'm sensitive. Say I'm sensitive. Add you to it. No, you said me and her are sensitive. Say I'm sensitive.
All right, I'm sensitive.
All right, let's at least start there. We have to at least start
there. Money out of somebody's pocket who you know is trying to pay their bills because of something that they didn't try to do.
That's not my concern. She's an adult.
That's crazy to say.
It's not my business.
Talk about not being hip hop. That shit ain't hip hop.
Call it what you want. Call it what you want.
Cutting your homies' money off and like not talking about it.
That's why I don't care anymore.
Like firing your tour DJ and be like, you're fired. You're not on the road anymore.
It's difficult. If everybody here don't care, why are we still on this for 10 minutes?
But I care.
I never said I didn't care.
Well,
Marissa said she didn't want to be on the podcast anymore. She cares.
How fucked up the situation is, but I don't care about being on the podcast anymore.
Great. See, but that's not the same thing. She does care personally. Obviously, she's been hurt by it since it happened.
Okay, so y'all can talk about it on your leisure.
I'm surprised to see you're the same guy who just critiqued Drake for not being real, and here we are, we're not being real. We're all microphones, cameras are here, we're not being real.
Darn hypocrite.
Now, what you should say is what you could have said, and this is just my advice because I have been in that situation before with friends, where being open to having the dialogue is always the best path because you don't want to leave what you've done. I don't know how many times, but because I'm not a part of your personal life, but that's just burning bridges with people who could be your ambassadors. And I know at the stage of your career, you've been hurt by the industry. People have hurt you. Women have hurt you. Dudes you thought you could trust have hurt you. This person's hurt you, let you down, didn't keep their word. So you become the person that you are sitting right here, which is, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to pay my bills.
You're a really bad therapist.
I'm not a therapist. I'm just telling you from experience.
It's actually pretty good, though.
I'm just telling you from experience that to leave at your age, where you're going to have to make a transition, and it is at some point, to leave people in your path that tried to care about you, whether you wanted it or not.
I treat people bad that care about me.
Yes.
That's Peter's sentiment.
You heard that. That is, I feel very strongly about that. And you're not the only person I know like that. You push people away, the people who really love you, and it kind of
like Peter and Marissa.
Yes.
Yo, shut the fuck up with this fuck shit, man.
Bro, I've been a friend through your annoyingness for many years. You've been a dick to me for many years. This didn't just start. You can be a dick often. That's part of your personality. I always call you Surly Joe. It's who you are. But consistently,
think of it this way. You know when a woman gives you her vagina, it's one of her most prized possessions, right? She says, you know what? I trust this guy. I like this guy. I like this guy. I'm going to give him my vagina, right? And let him do with my vagina and my body what he wants, okay? And you say, you know what? I like that, right?
Would I say that?
You probably not.
Probably not. But in your mind, I mean, obviously you went in on it.
Your penis would say it. Your penis would say it.
And so anyway, you go in on said vagine, and whatever, for whatever period you want. And then one day comes where you're like, I'm over this. Okay? She says, but I care about you. And you go,
Oh, every man has been in this situation.
but that's why I'm giving it the way you grow. Right? I'm giving it the way you grow. You say, man, fuck this fuck shit, man. It's just vagina. It's just some sex. Like, move on. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You knew I didn't really want nothing serious.
No. You're not saying all that. Why?
No, in your mind. You don't say that to them, but in your mind. Just like right now to them, you're like, feel how you gonna feel. Oh, well, I moved on. It is what it is. So be it, right? Et cetera, et cetera. That's basically what happened is people gave you something that they thought was basically their vagina. It was important to them.
I can handle. Don't worry, Sean.
It was important.
Shawty's looking at me like Ebro's about to call you the world. The whole time I'm like this.
This is not a good setup.
Shawty's like, I don't care. It's fine. He's trying to stay
He gave you their pussy. And you know what? You're like, it wasn't that important. But my point is, it was important to them.
I listened to Peter's rant on 7/18. I listened to it multiple times.
7/18.
I guess it was on the day.
That was the date.
Oh, you remember dates for? Because that's the second time in this conversation you brought up the exact date.
Even for something he doesn't care about at all.
For something he doesn't care about.
I only know the date because I heard it on whatever website y'all use that posts all the dates.
Okay. But you still remember it. But
yeah, because I listened to it a million times and then I left
so
all
you
my
care.
friends
All
here.
right,
So listen to it a bunch of times. Still don't care.
Weird. Go.
Well, y'all threw me off now.
You said you was too busy trying to dance. I told you can't outdance me, man.
I listened to Peter's rant multiple times on 7/18, and now I'm dancing. And listen, I don't think that you guys are able to have an objective conversation, number one. Number two, this podcast conversation is not a conversation I care to have, especially not early in the morning. Number three, if Peter and or Marissa feel away, then there are other mediums for that to be discussed if it's going to be discussed at all. Number four, I certainly didn't get out of my bed away from a beautiful, soft woman to come up here.
That doesn't even count. You have a beautiful, soft woman in your bed every single day. That's just called your pillow. You have a pillow every night, Joe.
We're not here for this. This is very minuscule. This is very minor on the grand scheme.
Interpersonal relationships are what indeed.
It's another disrespectful thing to say.
Interpersonal relationships, which you write about in your music, which is what the Joe Budden brand. Well, I ain't heard that yet.
Coming soon.
They ain't heard that yet.
Yeah, September.
Hopefully people will care. Hopefully people will care, and like I've always done, I'll hopefully try to help you make people care, right?
Thank you for that. See, that's help. Not finding a studio for a rapper.
There's on the spectrum of help.
That's your man, so you can't say.
Did I tell you about the time? I called him and said, "Hey, I'm getting a job at ESPN. Maybe we should do a show together." And like, no, seriously, I want to bring you in to do that. And he honestly said, appreciate the honesty, but he was like, schedule wise, I just don't know if that's the kind of thing I could commit to. But like, ESPN is obviously the second biggest thing I've ever had in my life, and the first person that I wanted to call to say, would you be interested in sharing this opportunity? Was Joe. Appreciate your honesty. I wasn't hurt by it, but I'm saying, don't act as if you're not someone who I prioritize.
Here,
think of it
let
important.
me wrap this interview up. What's the album called? Because the album's called what? Rage and the Machine.
Ebro, I feel like.
How does Zach De La Roca feel about this? This chat from Rage Against the Machine.
I don't know how he feels, Ebro.
He's a nice guy. You guys should consult him and maybe put him on a record, but I'm just saying he's a great guy.
Next time I come here for an interview, send my manager the talk points. This is
That's never happened with a Joe Budden interview, where he's been like, yo, send me the talking points before I get there.
Well, now you can do that from here on out.
Because I didn't know that this would be an utter
You should have known that. That's crazy.
No, it was not a waste of time.
We talked about Drake for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. And we talked about the album.
And we played your song.
And we talked about Marissa and Peter for.
Well, what else should we talk about? You want to talk about beats? You want to talk about snares and hi-hats?
About something.
You want me to pull A-Rap up and talk about the Renaissance, the NBC Renaissance?
Yo, what software you want, A-Rap?
You got the 3000
Let's talk software.
Renaissance. Which one? You got the new plugins?
You got the new plugins? Yo, A-Rap, you got the new plugins? It's lit.
Yo, the bar you spit. Yo, this pattern you used.
Hey, yo, rap fans, by the way, Ebro's mocking you how much y'all ever want to hear about every little fucking bar.
The percussion, the way you use your voice like a drum, and the percussion that fell in the pocket at the end, so it was hard. It was hard. I'm telling you, it was hard.
I want to thank all of you for your time. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Peter. And thank you, Ebro. Thank you, Board Guy, for the sound effects. Thank you, Deani.
Damn, Shawnee.
Cameraman.
She's super producer Shawnee. Super producer Shawnee, dude.
Fuck that. Thank you, Board Man, with your little fucking effects.
Rosenberg, that's right there. That's his thing. Don't break it. It's his. It's his.
You don't break
No,
that
not
shit.
true.
Really real.
Always good to see everyone.
Always good. What should we have covered?
I don't know. That's y'all job to talk about. It's y'all job to figure out. I don't do a morning show. I do a podcast.
Facts. You could have had a morning show.
And you did have a morning show.
You did.
At some point, there was a morning show. I remember.
Oh, I helped you with that. When you used to lay under the cabinet right here. I used to help you.
Peace.
You good, man?
Yeah, we'll talk more at album time.
Thank you.
That's it. You good?
So that was real big.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
No. I'll see him, I said. I'll see him. You keeping him away from me, too? All right. I still have real late.
That's not bad. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thanks for having us. Yo, he's gonna work with other people after he's done with you. That's why he's being nice.
That was weird.
No, it wasn't. That's Joe. Yeah, that got weird.
I've never seen him. Honestly, I've never seen him in that space where he
Space is
was
that dodging? He got flustered.
utterly dodging, had no ground to stand on anything. Acted as if you were just gonna come up here in spite of everything that happened, and we were just gonna be like, "Oh, it's time to promo your album."
Like, but you guys, that's his default. And look, if anybody believes that Joe Budden is not coming back up here or doesn't want us to play his music, okay. I think what's happening is you have somebody who is deeply scarred by life and what he's done, and he doesn't know how to deal with.
Haven't we all been?
Yeah, but he doesn't know how to deal with being wrong because he doesn't have to deal with it. He can write his rhymes, make his money, do his shows, and he doesn't have to deal with anything. Like, why does he have to deal with anything?
Why does he have to? Whatever. You know
You
what?
feel me?
Yes, I do. But
But see, this is why I've been avoiding that conversation with him because I knew it would be this exact conversation. So I haven't called him. I haven't even tried to talk to him because this is what he does to everybody in his life.
the character that people love and are so amused by.
No, people love Joe for his ability to rap.
No, but yes, you're right. But there is a pocket of emo fuckboys on the internet who they really like identify with all of his shit. And I get
Because
that.
he can rap.
Fine. But what I'm saying is,
But if he couldn't rap,
well, no, but I'm telling you right now, they now listen. There are people there who listen to his podcast and enjoy his whole shtick, which I get. I thought that's why I wanted to tell him this podcast because he has a great ability to share.
if
But I'm
Joe
just saying-
couldn't rap,
That goes without
He would
saying.
be
He's
able-
famous because of rapping.
Right, no.
Obviously.
But my point is if let's say hypothetically he had to do something else, he would have to deal with these things to keep people around to support him. When you have a skill at a high level, people flock around you to support you no matter what you do.
Speaking of which, did you? I know I've met the guy before, but did you recognize Joe's manager? Oh no, it's because everyone around him is new. Ask yourself about when people have everyone new around them. Arab's new to basically being his partner. His manager's new. Everyone's new. He doesn't give a fuck about us. And then you can ask yourself about who you think is misinterpreting the situation, the people who have known him for years and years, or the guy who now is sitting with all brand new people around him.
Well, the reason I went into the vagina monologue.
The vagina monologue